I'd like to thank you guys for all being in attendance today. My name is Dunn, I'm the Duneland Chamber President. This is our first primary election candidate forum. I want to thank you all again for being here, making this possible. We have almost 30 candidates here. I'd also like to thank the Porter County Expo Center for letting us host this event today.
Good morning, my name is Gesse Harper. I'm running for Porter County Assessor. Thank you for having me this morning. I am a lifelong resident here in Porter County, born and raised in Cowles. I live there now with my husband and my 2 children. Actually, my daughter's in New York for this year for studying FIT. I have worked at the Porter County Assessor's Office for 8 years. I can honestly say I have probably been to everybody's property at least once. I love my job. I love interacting with people. The assessor's office is a unique office. I was telling some people, it's the only office really we have nothing we can debate about because everything is state mandated. Everything I do in my office has a deadline and it's done by the state. So my job is to make sure that those assessed values get done properly and equally along the county. So you will see every year 1/4 of the county gets reassessed. And I fortunately will be able to tell these kids this year, people we hire for that, I am training them. So right now I'm working on a little manual and a little test that every person that works for us this summer will be taking so we can make sure everything is being assessed correctly. And I would appreciate your vote for this.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Neff, and I too am running for Porter County Assessor. I live in Valparaiso with my husband Ronald. Together we have 6 adult children and 3 grandchildren. I've spent most of my career in public education, 30 years as administrator, and sat on several boards. I spent 14 years on the school board, most notably. Currently, I am working in the assessor's office, and I've earned a level 3 certification. I understand the inner workings of the office. I'll be in the office full time to answer questions, oversee staff, and see to the daily operations of the office. One of my main objectives will be to reduce the number of appeals that are filed in Porter County. Our appeal numbers are really up there. I've been in conversation with Representative Valeri, who just authored a new law that took effect in January of this year, and it's going to help reduce some of those repeat appealers. But I also see that it can be refined a little bit more, so I'd like to talk with him more about working on that. I would also like to work with the auditor's office and other legislators in order to look at the over 65 exemption. Currently, that's capped at $200,000, and many seniors are losing this exemption due to the home sales that are skyrocketing. So if we can look at that, perhaps get it raised so that the seniors aren't losing that exemption through no fault of their own, I'd like to see that happen. The other thing I'd like to do is work with other civic organizations to do something like a train the trainer kind of situation, so people actually understand what the auditor, the assessor's office does. That way, that also would help lower the appeals. So with my experience and my dedication, I want to deliver fair and equitable assessment for Porter County. If you have any questions, you can visit my website at electsuneff.com. And I would appreciate your support in May.
Valeri, and I am also running for assessor. I am a native of Valparaiso. I went to VHS and then also Purdue University and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Organizational Leadership and Supervision. My son is a freshman there now, so following in my footsteps. For the past 11 years, I have been a realtor. I own and run my own successful real estate business. And I thought it was getting to be the point where I wanted to take that business to the next level. So that's why I got excited about running for assessment. I think that position requires someone who has a broad expertise and knowledge of the overall market, because especially in times like right now when we're in kind of a auction traded market, I'm talking to a lot of homeowners and residents who are nervous about their assessments going up. So in order to be fair and equitable with these assessments, I think that real estate knowledge is key. Something that I would be committed to is working with other agencies such as maybe the auditor's office, the treasurer's office, other boards and commissions to try to figure out other ways to, drive revenue up for Porter County, because I know that property taxes is something that is heavily relied upon for that. So I think it's important to look for other sources of revenue so that we don't have to put so much pressure on homeowners. I'm also committed to transparency and open communication within the office and making sure that the systems in place are effective and efficient. This is my first time in politics, so I'm entering this situation with wide open eyes and a fresh perspective, and I know that I'll do an excellent job, and I look for all of their support and votes for Assessor. Thank you.
First, thank you to the Duneland Chamber for sponsoring this great event. I'm happy to be here with everybody today. My name is Toni. I am currently the Chief Deputy Auditor, and I'm wanting to be the next Porter County Auditor. I'm a degreed accountant and certified as a level 2 assessor appraiser. I transitioned to a role in county government from a 20-plus year career in commercial real estate. I have a unique set of skills that has proven to be very relevant to the duties of county auditor. In-office preparation of typicalization and GAAP financial reports has helped develop a significant depth of knowledge about the intricacies of property assessed values, taxation, and the financial reporting responsibilities of the office. Not only do we save taxpayer dollars, more than $150,000 annually, but I've developed an invaluable familiarity with the data we maintain and a better understanding of the complex issue overall. Our office operates at high level of effectiveness and professionalism despite having a very lean staffing roster because it is led by an auditor and a chief deputy that is present and working in the office every day. The model works because we work extremely hard. I know the deductions, I know the dedication necessary to be an effective county auditor, and I have the experience, education, and work ethic required to maintain the level of service that Porter County residents have come to rely on. Good government is both efficient and effective. As county auditor, I will continue the practice of completing projects in-house whenever possible and cost-effective, rather than relying on expensive consultants. I will ensure that the staff in our office remains informed about all legislative changes. By the way, over 55 election increased to $240,000. That was signed into law or actually this month. And well-trained, particularly in the areas of deductions and property tax calculations. Property taxation in Indiana can be confusing. It's very important to me that anyone who visits or calls our office is receiving accurate information no matter who answers the phone or responds to their email. I was appointed Chief Deputy Auditor by Vice Mayor when she first began her first term. I don't know at the time, but I just want to say I'm incredibly proud of what we've been able to achieve in our office. And I'm qualified, experienced necessary to continue serving Porter County as this next county auditor. Thank you so much for your support.
Good morning. My name is Cyndi Dykes, and I am the current Porter County Coroner seeking re-election for this seat. The coroner's duty is to determine the cause and manner of death through an investigation when a person in the county dies in a sudden, unexpected, or violent way. It is imperative that the family is treated with dignity, respect, and compassion when met for the first time in their raw state of emotion. This office is on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, with a team of 11 dedicated deputies who cover 6 to 7 12-hour shifts per month. My deputies and I sit on various committees throughout the county, finding ways to prevent unnecessary deaths. The opioid fatality review team and the child fatality review team awards grant money to the coroner's office, which helps offset expenses to the county for equipment and supplies. I have reestablished strong positive relationships with police and fire agencies. I have negotiated autopsy, toxicology, and hospital fees to save money for the county. Toxicology results are now received within 6 weeks instead of 3 months. I have lived in Valparaiso for 50 years and have been married to my husband Ed for 37. We have 3 adult children and 2 grandchildren. I have been a certified histology technician for over 30 years and am a certified medical legal death investigator with the state of Indiana. I have had the honor of serving the citizens of Porter County in this capacity, and I'm asking for your support so I can continue to ensure high standards, efficiency, and professionalism in the coroner's office. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Terry Dunn. I'm running for re-election for the Liberty Township Advisory Board. I work for Duneland School Corporation, and I've done that for over 40 years. 8 years ago, when I was asked to join the Liberty Township Advisory Board, I had no idea what to expect. In a short time, I learned there was more to this job than I thought. The responsibilities are more than I expected. The board works with the township trustee in keeping the township budget in check. Over the past 4 years, we've saved enough to establish a rainy day fund, which is in our favor to be able to give the township funds for new projects. If elected, we will be working to build a new fire department in the township. Hopefully, my fellow board members and I can continue to serve the community for the next 4 years to the best of our abilities. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Barb Regnitz, and I'm running for Porter County Commissioner in the upcoming election. And I too want to thank the Chamber for organizing this event and in such a beautiful facility. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm married, my husband and I, Tim, have been married for 43 years. I'm a Purdue grad, I have 2 degrees in math and German. I spent my senior year in Freiburg, Germany. And after graduating, I had an opportunity to work in IT for 16 years. I worked for United Airlines, and I was a software engineer and a project manager. And I was responsible for designing several of the airport automation systems. Some of them you've seen, some of them you haven't. But one you most likely will recognize is when you enter the plane and you have to scan your boarding pass. That was one of the projects that I worked on. I am very skilled at bringing together teams and solving problems and getting things done effectively and efficiently. After that 16-year career, I launched another 16-year career as a financial advisor and certified financial planner. I worked for Raymond James, and I had hundreds of clients and was personally responsible for managing their assets, which was in the millions and millions of dollars. I understand money, I understand investments, and I understand putting together responsible spending plans. I also understand listening to people and understanding their concerns. I'm very involved in the community. I sit on several boards. I'm the treasurer of 2 of them. I'm also on the board of treasurer for the Valparaiso Rotary Club Memorial Foundation. So I understand foundations, and I understand about sustainability and allowing them to operate in perpetuity. Many of you realize that the commissioners are responsible for spending millions of dollars in maintaining the assets in the county, bridges, roads, buildings, and I'm just going to finish my sentence. I see the stop time. I appreciate your support on May 3rd and in November. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Giorgi, and I am running for Porter County Commissioner. I'd also like to thank the Duneland Chamber of Commerce for holding this candidates forum. My husband Jeffrey and I have lived in Porter County for 25 years together, and we raised our 3 children here. We will always call Porter County home. In 2006, I ran for and was elected to the first of 4 consecutive terms on the Union Township School Board, and I am proud to say that we have overseen many building improvements on both academic and athletic spaces. And more importantly, Union Township has been one of the top academic school corporations in the entire state of Indiana. We survived and even thrived during the pandemic, and were able to remain in person when many local school districts were virtual. Our ability to remain in person was due to extensive collaboration and cooperation between the board, staff, families, and most importantly, our students. Serving the residents of Porter County through its Board of Commissioners is an expansion of my service as a school board member with many similar responsibilities. As a board member, I am one of 5 responsible for overseeing our school corporation's almost $20 million a year budget, which is larger than 1/4 of Indiana's 92 counties. We approve and all personnel decisions, and much like our commissioners, we are tasked with policy development and implementation. I have spent the last 16 years governing in a nonpartisan fashion, and I will continue to do so as your commissioner. Successful county leadership creates opportunities by attracting good-paying jobs and providing strong public safety, in addition to providing great quality of life offerings. Well-planned development is fundamental to providing and expanding upon these opportunities. The development of projects and ideas with a focus on fiscal responsibility has shaped the work I have done for the past 2 decades. That experience will serve me and the residents well in this new job as your commissioner. I look forward to this opportunity and thank you all for your attention. I ask for your support in the general election on November 8th. Thank you.
My name is Mike Brickner, and I'm running for Porter County Commissioner District 2. I'm born and raised in Porter County. I was born at the old Porter Hospital. My kids were born there. And I grew up on the streets of South Haven, Honda Drive as a kid. My dad retired U.S. Steel worker. My mom's a retired school teacher, both still with me. By the grace of God, 85 years old. And I'm a graduate of Chester High School, graduate of Ball State University. I worked for the Valparaiso Police Department for 31 years. Last 13 years, I was the chief of police, retired in 2017. Left it in very good hands. And took a job as director of Porter County Public Safety for 2 years, where I oversaw the county 911 and EMA. I'm currently director of operations at Lake County Community Corrections and Crown Point. It's kind of come full circle, helping people get home now. Porter County is my home. I have been serving in some capacity or another in Porter County for about 37 years. I'm currently on the Porter County Council. By the time the commissioner's position is open, I will have served 2 full terms on the Porter County Council. There's a lot happening in Porter County government. I understand the workings. One thing about qualification, just a little bit about myself, but something I think is very key. The Porter County Commission, I look at the Porter County Commissioner's position as the next level of government leadership. And with my experience and qualifications, I feel that I'm a strong candidate to be able to assume the position of Porter County Commissioner starting on day 1. You know, I have an understanding of what's happening in the county. And one thing I want to talk about as far as qualifications was listening skills. I'm a firm believer in the servant leadership model that we work for the people, but we have to make decisions. So we have to make decisions with synergy. We have to be able to work with the county council person, the county commissioners, and you know, I feel that's one of my strengths. But anyway, I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you very much.
My name is Antonio Gutierrez, and I'm running for Porter County Council District 1. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the office. I'm going to sit here and talk about myself and the lifetime I have left. I always say we're here on earth for a short amount of time. We have one chance at this game called life. And as public officials and people who are running for public office, we have a moral duty to make a difference while we're here for the people left after we're gone. You know, and another thing that bothers me is I hear a lot of officials that always say, oh, you know what, that's not what the office does, we only do this and that, but we also have another moral obligation as public servants to stand up for what's right and stand up against what's wrong. So that's it. People don't want to be talked out of their emotions and their feelings or anything like that. They want to be listened to, heard. You know, so as your next county councilman, I will respect the hopes and concerns of all my constituents and commit my heart to making sure they're truly heard. Thank you.
Good morning, Becky, Lombardini, Porter County Council District 1, aka Leah, Lauren, and Luke's mom. So here are my key points. So I only get like a minute with them. Born and raised in Northwest Indiana by Slovak American parents who were married 70 years. I'm a consultant. I'm a faculty at IUN for 25 years. Small business owner, Rotarian. I was the U.S. Scholar to Australia in 1991. And I'm a precinct chair and delegate for our political system. Why am I running? As an American, my ultimate goal is for us to have a better quality of life, safe environment, and a world where our children can live, learn, and prosper. Ultimately, I really care. What have I done? A lifetime of accomplishments, good friends, and positive effects. I grew a Johnson & Johnson Wellness Center at Ford to one of the top in the country, spearheaded one of the most successful United Way events in area history, and was very involved in our newest congressman's campaign. What will I do? Past action is the best indicator of future success. I've worked in many public service offices and have the skill set to do this job well. Specifically for Porter County, solve water problems, make our roads safer, protect our beach, generate funds and use tax money prudently, and keep drugs away from our kids. I proposed a wellness center to support efforts for the mental health, addiction, and homelessness. Ultimately, my cause is strong families with loving parents, living wage jobs, and healthcare access. So, fiscally responsible, hardworking, servant leader who just happens to be a woman. We're here in America because we have strong leaders. We've had them, and I believe we can continue to need them. Candidates like myself in formal roles to make sure we are fully prepared for our future. A fun fact, I'm an Indiana Basketball Hall of Famer and a mom of a Chesterton basketball player. However, my son graduated last year. I coined the term Trojan Nation as I continue to support us. That's who I am, an involved, diligent, wise contributor over many years to reach the state final, and I will continue to do that in whatever I do. Thanks, and I appreciate your support.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Erik Wagner, and I'm also running for Porter County District 1, the north and northeast part of the county. And I've been passionate about community for years. That's why over a decade ago, I decided to get involved in local government. And in that time, I've learned a lot, gained a lot of skills, I've met a lot of wonderful people, and worked on a lot of projects. And that's why at the beginning of the month, when the party decided to elect me to fill out the final year of his term, I was so thrilled. Now, I want to say, running an effective government only requires a few things. We need to support public safety initiatives, we need to support our sheriff's department, and we need to find funds for infrastructure and roads. Now, I hope I have your vote starting April 5th. If I haven't yet earned your vote, thank you for your consideration, and I hope to earn it one day. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the chamber, specifically Maura. Thank you very much for putting this on. Anybody that knows me knows I like to talk, so I did bring some notes with me. The other people I'd like to thank is all the candidates in this room. Until you put your hat in the ring, you really don't know what it's like to be a candidate. And we do need good candidates, both ours and these. And I do appreciate everybody taking your time and putting your hat in the ring to have good people going. My name is Ronald Redstone. I did have fire engine right here when I was young. The name stuck with me, so I go by Redstone. That's the only name that people know me by. I have been married for close to 24 years. October's our anniversary, will be 25th. It's a big one. I've lived in Porter County for close to 25 years. I have 4 children, and my youngest is currently attending Chesterton High School right now. I started off as an apprentice iron worker right out of high school for Iron Workers Local 1 in Chicago. And after that, I met a friend, and we started Metropolitan Steel in 2003. So at age 27, me and my buddy started a business, and it's been successful, and we've been in business now close to 20 years. We erect bridges and buildings throughout the Chicagoland area. We do a lot of infrastructure work. I currently am on the Duneland School Board. I've been on the school board for 15 years. I can honestly say, Porter County Council, I hope it's as much fun as the school board. I can honestly say that is one of the best, it's been the best 15 years of my life being able to serve on the school board. And I think it's one of the most important roles you could ever do locally is your school board. So I would encourage anybody to, if they're looking to get involved in politics, please start off on your school board because it is very, very, very important. We do have a big budget, and you can do a lot of good things. I also serve on 2 pension boards, being a trustee, and that's it, I'm stopped. So I like to talk, but I was supposed to get this done. So I thank you very much.
Reynolds, and I'm running for Porter County Sheriff. I'm running because I have knowledge, experience, and vision to keep Porter County safe. I'm a lifelong resident of Porter County, and like you, I know this is a great place to live, raise a family. I'm committed to keeping this community safe for your family and for mine. I've dedicated my life to public safety through law enforcement. My experience and knowledge are unique to this race. I started my career at the Sheriff's Office, and I left for the Drug Enforcement Administration, where I worked as a special agent, and later as a supervisory special agent. I completed months of training in Quantico and really areas all over the country. As a special agent and as a supervisor, I led agents and officers to conduct investigations that brought hundreds of criminals off the streets. So I think that coupled with my administrative experience, I know that to be fully effective, we have to fully fund police. I have 3 key issues. The first is drug awareness. Porter County's seen an increase in drug activity. I'm gonna identify and arrest people bringing drugs here. We're also gonna work to prevent kids from even starting to use drugs. The second is school safety. We will be committed to school safety, working to identify the best measures to keep our kids safe. The third is community outreach. The sheriff's office is an instrument of public safety. It's not an instrument of politics. We will keep politics out of that office. We will work collaboratively with other agencies in this county to make sure that we're all working together to keep this community safe. I work at the sheriff's office. I have a deep, deep appreciation for that office, for the men and women that work there. If I didn't think I was the most qualified, educated, and experienced person, I would not have decided to run for this office. This county needs somebody that has qualifications and education like me, and I will be that person to make sure this county is safe. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Chamber, for hosting this event. I am not the tallest candidate here. So my name is Jeff Balon. I'm running for Porter County Sheriff. I'm here to ask for your support and your vote. A little bit about myself. I grew up in Jackson Township on a farm, graduated from Chesterton High School, and I lived down in Morgan Township with my family. What makes me uniquely qualified for the sheriff's position is my 30 years of experience as a law enforcement professional. I spent over 10 years patrolling the streets and leading men and women in uniform. I spent over 10 years in investigations that have taken me throughout the state, where I've investigated cases starting with hostage negotiation to homicides to drugs. But what's given me the transferable skills to smoothly go from chief of police in Valparaiso to the sheriff is my administrative responsibilities. I've been appointed to the board of trustees for the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute by the governor. I know what it takes to build relationships with our communities, with our schools, with our businesses, and with our citizens. I understand how to build multi-million-dollar budgets and also be fiscally responsible. I know what it takes to lead this department in the Sheriff's Department. I also understand the importance and the multifaceted responsibilities that the Sheriff's Department has, from patrolling unincorporated areas in Porter County to working with businesses in cities and towns to solve civil matters and to get everything accomplished that we need to build relationships with. What I'm asking for is your support in the next election so I can become the next Porter County Sheriff. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Duneland Chamber of Commerce, spectators and candidates, thank you for hosting this event. Thank everyone for attending. My name is Dion Bergeron. I'm running for State Rep District 9. My question to you is, do you feel represented? Are your views being echoed in Indianapolis in the state legislature? When they create policies and laws, do they reflect your beliefs and opinions? Is your state representative open and easily available? Do they respond to messages or calls? Is your rep doing all they can to get economic development to this area? Are they getting state dollars to our communities? Are the taxes that you and I pay getting put back into our district? If your answer to any of these questions is no, then the solution is obvious. Vote Bergeron. Why? Jobs. I will work with the state and local businesses to bring our share of the over $20 billion Indiana collects every year in taxes to District 9 to create real and lasting economic development. You can reach me anytime via phone or email, and I respond directly. I don't ignore you or pass your calls to my assistant. I also host a political podcast called Dion's Daily Dose, where I'm available live and anyone can join in the conversation. My opponent is finishing their second term. 4 years they've had to change things around. 4 years to improve the lives of everyone in District 9. 4 years of voting history, and my question is, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? How many economic achievements have we in District 9 celebrated in those 4 years? How many quality careers have been created? The reality is that the modern Democratic Party has shown what they're about, and it isn't you or me. It's special interests, woke corporations, and illegal immigrants. It's gotten so bad that you can tell someone's political party if they have an American flag in front of their home, which I do. If you tell the truth, you're called names and vilified. If you don't immediately agree with the message, you're labeled this or that and hated by people with more volume than sense. Enough is enough, vote them out, Bergeron 2022.
They want to see a lot of bright faces, a lot of smiles, that's awesome. Are you guys ready for the red wave that is coming this way? And you ready to get on that surfboard? How many in this room are ready for that? Anyways, I'm going to give a quick introduction of myself. My name is Manuel Maldonado. I'm running for State Representative District 10. My purpose here is simple: faith, family, community. That's where my core values are. That's where I'm going to stick with. When it comes to family, when it comes to parents and their role in the education system, that's where I'm going to focus. Also, what is going on at the state level to resource this district? What are we going to do to make sure that this district is resourced and we are building this district, not only with our law and order, but also with our infrastructure and everything else that comes with that? I'm going to leave you guys a verse here that God has put on my heart, Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man did not come to serve, but to, for even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life in ransom for many. Many might ask, Manuel Maldonado, why are you running for state representative? Why are you trying to take that? You know why? Because God has put it in my heart to do it. And I'm going to do it wholeheartedly. And I'm going to do it with the foundation of family. And also my best regards to Chuck Mosley, who isn't here today. I pray that he's feeling better and that me and him can talk soon. If anybody has any questions for me, you can also look me up. And I also am very open to discuss anything with you, what my goals and purposes are going to be as an Indiana State representative. And I appreciate everybody here in this room. God bless.
Good morning. Good morning. So thanks everyone for coming out on this, another day like this here. So welcome, I'm Deb Chubb. I'm running for State Senate District 4. I'm a Democrat. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an attorney. I've been around here for my whole life. So I was raised in Gulf Shores, in Chesterton, lived in Belleville, in Porter County, excuse me, and I have done massive amounts of work in this community. Business as usual, as the State House really isn't going to work anymore. I think we all see that. It's dominated by extremist legislation, while priorities of local communities and families are ignored. So we need to bring something new to the State House, someone who's really ready to go in there and fight hard. So by experience, I've worked in a nonprofit, ran a nonprofit for 17 years that provided high-quality early childhood education and care. Did a lot of advocacy as well during that time. So a lot of experience at the State House, lobbying also at federal level, local level. And did a lot of environmental work. Sat on the Board of State of Dunes for 10 years. Was the president for 3. So I think as far as priorities, we need to address the impacts of climate change that we're all starting to see everywhere around here. This has to happen. We cannot just keep ignoring this and pretending that it's not happening. We need to address our outrageous maternal and infant mortality rate in this state. And we need to also make sure that our kids are getting a high quality education such that they can graduate and get a good job right here in Indiana and stay with us. So asking for your vote on May 3rd, early voting starts April 5th. Don't forget about the new voting centers system here in Porter County. And thank you very much.
Building has been my passion. In all my occupations, builder, steel worker, union labor, mason, volunteer police officer, teacher, community volunteer, trustee, board member, and county councilman, building has been the key thread. Collaboration and working together for improvements to the workforce and our community has been my life goal. The passion for completing these tasks has come from the enthusiasm of those around me and the community I've called home for almost 16 years. Today, standing in front of you feels comfortable, kind of like my home or our home, but with an urgency to work on all the changes and the changes that may affect us in the near future. I'm Jeff Larson. Actually, I'm Jeffrey Elmer Larson, a name I feared when I heard yelled. Many of you know me, some of you may have heard of me, I hope I can fix that, and others may have yet to meet me. The format for today was to learn about the candidates, let's add or build on that. As an educator and former student, I've come across those who would just disseminate information, kind of like just blowing it out. Not build a relationship or communication, but just throw ideas and information at you. That's not my idea of leadership, and it's not how I ran my classroom, political position, or any other occupation I've held. This is where you come in. You see, because of you, the citizens, I'm able to stand in front of you today. The The building blocks many of you or your family set forth, the faith community, the community as a whole, my family and close friendships, schools have all sent me here. So today I ask you to give me a few seconds of your time. First, I'd like you to think of 2 positive things that would improve the quality of life here for us and hang on to those thoughts. Also, I'd like to think of 1 negative category, maybe something we can work on. When you have those, hold on to them. Addressing items like these and many other issues has been my focus in all my leadership roles. Collaborating with you strengthens us and allows me to serve community wants and needs. The key to what took place today is not my direction, but the willingness to serve based on your input. Building on those pieces of information you took time to divulge. Anyway, I'm getting the sign that we get off of here. So, helping each other to reach each other's goal. I believe in this community as more than 5 generations of my family have. United, we can build on strengths together and focus on the improvements that we have facing us. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good. I'm Senator Rodney Cole. I'm a proud son of the Northwest Indiana area, Chester High School graduate. And aside of working in small businesses, working in the construction trades, put myself through law school, I've dedicated my life to public service. That includes working for the criminal justice system throughout the entire state, working in the public education system throughout the entire state here locally, and then also working here locally as a city attorney. These are invaluable experiences that help prepare me for my position as a state senator. These are experiences that Senator Italian had valued in her making her decision to endorse me as her successor at the State House for State Senate. What she didn't realize, though, was she was sending the youngest senator to the Senate, and also the first Latino that ever served in the State Senate. 2021, first year, the first time it's ever actually happened. In my first session, I was able to prove my ability to work across the aisle with Senator Charbonneau and others to get full bipartisan support for issues that are going to raise our quality of life here in the state of Indiana, and particularly in Northwest Indiana. These are issues that are going to help our public education system, addressing our staffing shortage here with our public education system, also addressing our opioid epidemic, as Sheriff Reynolds said, actually, or sorry, soon to be Sheriff Reynolds said that stated. sorry, Mr. Bell. But either way, these are important issues that in other bipartisan efforts as well to clean up our environment, particularly our waterways. Like Indiana right now rates the worst for our waterways. So we want to make sure that we're actually going to be cleaning this up, particularly coal ash in particular. But also we had to kill some pretty bad bills that were aimed at public education, bills that were aimed at working class families, local control, bills that were aimed at our labor unions. These are things here in Northwest Indiana we have to value. These would set us apart from the rest of the state. These are things that our businesses are looking at when they want to find a workforce to work here for the state of Indiana. I appreciate the time and ask for your support to send me back down to Indianapolis. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ron Muir, and I'm running for Indiana Senate, 4th District. I am a former 2-term mayor of the largest city in LaPorte County, Michigan City, 2 terms on the city council, 10 years on the Human Rights Commission in Michigan City, a lifelong resident of Northwest Indiana. Something that I've always prided myself on and my success, as I know former Mayor Blair Milo is here today, is bipartisanship and working across party lines. I think in the 4th District, that's the only way we'll be successful downstate, is working across party lines, and I pride myself in that. And I think too many times we see all of this adversary relationships and vilifying instead of cooperation, and I've always been able to cut through that. I will be a full-time Indiana senator. I have no other commitments to any other jobs, occupations, commitments to organizations, or anything like that. Full-time Indiana senator, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I think that if you look at every candidate in this room, we know what needs to be done, we know what needs to happen, but it's about delivery. And I have a track record. If you look at the over $1 billion that was invested in the Michigan City region, Lower Porter County, that can spread throughout the 4th District. And I think it's all about who can deliver, who can bring back the monies for the infrastructure that is needed throughout the 4th District with our roads, water treatment plants, wastewater treatment plants, stormwater. As you drive through the 4th district, standing water in the streets. These things have to be addressed and must be addressed, in our state highways also. So I thank you for your support and thank you for having us here today.
Good morning. It's great to be in a room full of undecided voters to make the case. That was a joke. My name is Todd Connor, and I'm also running for the Indiana State Senate District 4. I want to give a brief introduction as to who I am, and then make a case for why I think I can be the right leader for this district, and for all of you in this room. And I just want to say that at the outset that I believe public leadership has to be something that moves beyond the partisan frame once elected, and that we actually lead with an intent to represent all the people that you are there to represent. So by way of background, I paid my way through college on an ROTC scholarship, served in the Navy, worked at a warehouse while I paid my way through business school, and came out of those experiences, got married, adopted a 2-year-old son, and am a Hoosier by choice. I did not go here. But we made Northwest Indiana home in part because we saw opportunity. And in part because we love the quality of life, in part because we love the schools. And all the things that you all love are the reasons that we fell in love with Northwest Indiana as a region. We also opened up a business in LaPorte called Emerson House. It's a wedding venue. I apologize for whoever has the wedding this weekend. It's not great weather, but we opened up a business because we see opportunity as well. And I'm running because I think there's a shared sense that there's a bigger opportunity for our region that we haven't yet realized. I started an organization to help military veterans start businesses called Bunker Labs. 25% of veterans want to start businesses. We scaled that to 40 cities across the country. And what I can tell you, having done economic development across the country, is it is really hard to ignite a region absent political leadership that can talk to the business community and help frame the story of what's possible. So my argument is I want to frame what's possible for us. I want to work for you. And we have a great opportunity at hand if we get the right leaders in office. So thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Johannes Puar. I'm a candidate for Indiana State Senate District 4. Just a little bit about myself. I'm an entrepreneur, sales rep for Cutco Cutlery, and I also have several startup businesses that I'm working on. The reason why I'm running for state senate, it's my first run with politics. The reason is, with the pandemic, we have had a violation of all our most important rights, the rights to religious freedom. As an Orthodox Christian, I was rather offended that the mayor of Michigan City had a curfew that prevented us from celebrating our holiest feast day of the year, the resurrection of the Lord, at midnight, as it is according to Orthodox Christian tradition. Once elected, I will ensure everybody's religious freedoms, everybody's right to free assembly are guaranteed and will never be infringed on ever again. I also support constitutional carry. I believe it's every Hoosier's and every American's right under the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution to keep and bear arms to defend themselves, their families, and their property. I also support small business. Governor Holcomb's executive order locking the state down has destroyed over 40% of Indiana's small business community. A lot of these businesses have closed their doors for good. So elect me. I will make sure our freedoms and our rights are preserved, and that we will never have an issue like this ever again in the state.
Well, good morning, and thank you to the Duneland Chamber and all of you for the opportunity to join you here today. I am Blair Milo, and I am asking for your vote for U.S. Representative this May as well as this November to be able to fight back against the harmful policies that are coming from Washington, D.C. Last year, most families experienced an average of around $276 of increased costs due to the impact of inflation, and we're continuing to see that number rise by the day. We see gas prices that are through the roof, and that comes from energy policies that are continuing to have us be reliant upon a volatile global marketplace
where we see the realities and the costs of that play out on a daily basis, not just for what we're paying at the pump, but for our national security, or I would actually say national insecurity. And these types of impacts have to stop by having the kinds of representation that comes forward to DC to then fight back against these policies and fights for our communities. I'm a lifelong resident of Northwest Indiana that I had the opportunity to serve for 13 years as an officer in the U.S. Navy after I graduated from Purdue University. And I served aboard the USS Mason, as well as lived on an Iraqi oil platform, and then completed my active service with 2 years at the Pentagon. And that was before returning home to be able to serve as mayor of my hometown, where I had the opportunity to serve with Mayor Muir and many others across the room to be able to create solutions for our community and for this region. The results that we were able to generate led to us bringing the city back from the brink of bankruptcy and going on to decrease crime by a third, as well as attracting the growth of new jobs to the tune of 1,100 new jobs and over $260 million of capital investment, including a record economic development deal that was the largest in the city's history. We worked together on projects like double tracking the South Shore and record levels of investment in infrastructure, true infrastructure, roads, bridges, highways, to the tune of $1.1 billion. I'm asking for the opportunity to continue serving alongside you and to continue fighting for our communities and for our country. Thank you for your service, for your leadership, and for your continued consideration, and for your vote in May and November. Thank you so much.
My name is Mark Lopez. I'm here on behalf of Congressman Congressman Frank. Congressman Frank Vervan, Congress is in session, prevents him from participating in today's forum. Before I begin, I'd like to thank the Duneland Chamber of Commerce, its staff members, its officers, all of the members associated with what you do to grow the economy, and all the charitable organizations that you support. Prior to being sworn in as a fresh member of Congress, Congressman Vervan secured the position of co-chairman of the bipartisan Congressional Steel Caucus with 100 members. He secured that position because he understood the importance of the domestic steel industry to Northwest Indiana. As the domestic steel industry goes, so goes Broadway in Chesterton. When they're working, small business benefits. Shortly after Congress was sworn in, he secured a position in the Education and Labor Committee as well as the DA Committee, where he has a subcommittee chairmanship of technology and modernization. He was very proud to support the American Rescue Plan. The American Rescue Plan did any number of things. It reopened the economy, it reopened our public schools, it provided child tax credit for working families who were struggling through no fault of their own due to the pandemic health crisis. That was made possible because we also instituted a national vaccination plan. I was very proud that we worked in consultation with Governor Holcomb and the Indiana National Guard to host a federal facility in Indiana's 1st Congressional District, and that district inoculated over 63,000 citizens, which led to our normalization reopening of our economy. Shortly thereafter, he supported the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. That legislation created investments on our ports, roads, airports, waterways, and broadband technology, and that is on top of the double tracking project. Those investments will be transformational, help address some of the supply chain issues we're facing, but more importantly, as co-chairman of the Steel Caucus, he secured the strongest Buy American provisions. If we're going to spend hard-earned American tax dollars, we should put hard-working Americans to work, and he is very proud of those accomplishments. But with that, I need to end at this point with simply ask for your consideration in the upcoming primary and the general election for Congressman Frank Vervan. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Ruth Green. Please look to your left and please look to your right. As you look around the room, you will see that this room is not reflective of the diversity of our district, and that pains me. We must represent everyone. My name is Jennifer Ruth Green, and I'm running for Congress in Indiana's 1st Congressional District. I'm a Christian and I believe in faith, family, and the founding principles of America. I'm a 3rd-generation combat veteran, and after graduating from the United States Air Force Academy, I served as a commissioned commander in Baghdad as a counterintelligence agent. For the last 22 years, I've been serving as a leader, and currently I'm a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force, specifically in the Indiana Air National Guard, and serve as a cyber commander out in Fort Wayne 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. As a civilian, I'm a commercial pilot and certified flight instructor, and I developed a nonprofit here in Northwest Indiana to develop and serve missionaries through aviation. Throughout the course of my campaign, you will hear 3 things continuously. My focus is on strong American families, a strong American economy, and strong national security. I'm running because I believe life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are continually under attack. When I wake up and I think why I continue to do this, there's a great quote by John Stuart Mills. And he says, war is an ugly thing, but not the ugliest of things. The decayed and degraded state of moral and patriotic feeling which thinks that nothing is worth war is much worse. A person who has nothing for which he is willing to fight, nothing which is more important than his own personal safety, is a miserable creature and has no chance of being free unless made and kept so by the exertions of better men than himself. Let us not be content with a decayed and degraded state of moral and patriotic feeling, because clearly Americans deserve better. It would be my honor to earn your trust and your vote in the 2022 election. I'm Jennifer Ruth Green and I'm running for Congress. Thank you.
My name is Martin Lucas and I'm running for U.S. Congress. Most of you people don't know who I am, so I only have 2 minutes, so I want to remember 3 things. Number 1, term limits, term limits, term limits. I'm a strong believer of term limits. I'm not entering this race to be a career politician. Number 2, a lifetime ban on myself and all my family members from ever becoming lobbyists. I'm not entering this for any personal financial gain. Number 3, if you go to my website, www.votelucas.com, you can learn more about my platform. But if you go to the donation page, it will tell you you're better off donating money to charities, the poor, and the less fortunate. They're the ones that need the money, not politicians. Talking about politicians and money, the national debt is presently at $30 trillion. If you put that in perspective and go back in time 30 trillion seconds, you are going back 950,000 years. 950,000 years. So the country's in deep debt. Yet you look at the politicians' net worth, it goes higher and higher the longer they're in office. Abraham Lincoln said, "A democracy is of the people, by the people, for the people." I'm spelling by, B-Y. Unfortunately, many politicians are spelling it B-U-Y. Now, you don't know who I am, so I need you to remember my last name. It's Lucas. And I'll tell you how to remember this in 30 seconds. Who made Star Wars? George Lucas. Where did the Colts play? Lucas Oil Stadium. Where's a good vacation spot? Cabo San Lucas. My website, Vote Lucas, and on May 3rd, Vote Lucas. Thank you so much.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Dan Straka. I'm representing Senator Todd Young's campaign. He cannot be here today. We'll be here in this building tonight, though. He's coming back from DC today for the late invasion of the Porter County Republicans. So I'm here to ask for your support for Senator Young in the United States Senate race in 2022. When you entrusted him with the honor of serving you 5 years ago, he swore an oath to defend the Constitution. He also pledged to you that he would work on behalf of all Hoosiers to deliver conservative results. He's done that. Republican leadership delivered for Americans. We reformed the tax code to let all Hoosiers keep more of their own money, and record economy and jobs numbers prove it. We made border security a priority, not just a talking point. We confirmed hundreds of judges, including fellow Hoosier Amy Coney Barrett, to the highest court in the land. These are the results that American people demand, and Republican leadership continues to get results. We know Washington is controlled by Democrats, but Americans aren't going to put up with that. Hoosier families and businesses are hurting. Inflation is at an all-time high. Government spending is out of control. There's a crisis at our southern border. Violent crime is in the rise in cities and towns and attacking businesses. Tyrants in Afghanistan, Russia, and China rule unchallenged. I think we can all agree that there's time for change. We're going to secure the border. We're going to stop the spending. We're going to end inflation. Friends, with your help, we're going to get our country back. At the end of the day, Todd is running to unleash what he has been calling the Hoosiers' imprisoned lightning, to set the unlimited potential we all share free. It's the idea at the heart of the American dream, that free people in a free nation
have unlimited possibilities. This is Senator Young's vision for our country. Thank you for your support, and I hope that you can consider voting for Senator Young in May and in November.
Yeah, the Duneland Chamber is a nonpartisan, non-secretary, not-for-profit. We really do thank you for your time, for us to be able to share this information, and for us to really be able to get to know those candidates that are truly wanting to represent our communities.